Liverpool confident of striking Isak agreement on one condition amid bizarre pound 150 meters deal claim. Liverpool closing in on Alexander Isak deal as Darwin Núñez faces Anfield exit. Liverpool appear to be making serious progress in their quest to sign Newcastle United star forward Alexander Isak, with growing belief that a deal could be agreed between the two Premier League rivals. Following an aggressive start to the transfer window, the Merseyside Giants are showing no signs of slowing down. Isak is now at the center of their next big move. According to various media reports, Liverpool are growing increasingly optimistic about the chances of finalizing an agreement for the Sweden international, who has become a top priority for the club's revamped recruitment team. After lifting their 20th English top-flight title, the Reds have wasted no time reinforcing their squad for the upcoming campaign under new manager Arne Slot, a ruthless summer rebuild under Arne Slot since the opening of the transfer window. Liverpool have committed roughly £260 million, 2 player acquisitions, a clear signal of intent from the club's hierarchy. The arrivals of Hugo Ekitike, Florian Wirtz, Jeremy Frimpong, and Milos Kerkez have all strengthened the spine of the team. But Liverpool's summer business is far from over, with speculation swirling around potential departures, including Luis Diaz, Darwin Núñez, Federico Chiesa, and possibly Harvey Elliott. The club is expected to generate significant funds that could be reinvested into new additions. The main focus now appears to be on adding a top-class center forward and an elite-level central defender to Slot's evolving tactical system. Mark Guéhi in defense, Isak up front. On the defensive end, Crystal Palace's Mark Guéhi has been heavily linked with a move to Anfield, as the Reds seek to bolster a backline that has suffered from inconsistency and injuries in recent seasons. Meanwhile, their attacking plans are headlined by an ambitious pursuit of Alexander Isak that many initially viewed as overly optimistic. Reports had previously dismissed Liverpool's interest in Isak due to Newcastle's staggering £150 million valuation. However, the scenario appears to have shifted recently, with Isak himself reportedly communicating a desire to explore new opportunities this summer. That development could potentially soften Newcastle's negotiating stance, especially in light of their own financial fair play (FFP) concerns. Isak pushing for a move? A game-changer? The 24-year-old striker is said to be intrigued by the possibility of joining a title-contending team like Liverpool, and this personal desire could tilt the odds in the Reds' favor. A report by Football Insider suggests that Liverpool are now confident that they can strike a deal, even if Isak's hefty price tag remains a stumbling block. However, one caveat remains. Isak may need to firmly express his intent to leave, putting pressure on Newcastle to begin formal negotiations. A bid from Liverpool is reportedly imminent, and if submitted, it would mark a pivotal step in what could become one of the biggest deals of the summer. Saudi option. A complication or convenient exit route? Interestingly, another option being floated is a potential transfer to the Saudi Pro League. With Al Hilal among the clubs linked to Isak, however, such a move is seen by many as improbable due to the intricate web of ownership that connects Al Hilal and Newcastle United, both of which are backed by the Saudi Public Investment Fund opening (PIF) closing parenthesis. Financial expert Stefan Borson weighed in on the situation, calling the Saudi link bizarre. He pointed out that any potential deal between Newcastle and Al Hilal would need to be scrutinized and approved by the Premier League under fair market value regulations. According to Borson, this would likely place a ceiling on the transfer fee, preventing an inflated valuation and limiting Newcastle's ability to benefit financially. They're not under any obligation to sell Isak, a Borson told Football Insider. He's on a long-term contract, and they can technically say no. But things change when a player makes it clear he wants to move. The Al Hilal situation is complex due to their related ownership. A sale between the two could be capped at £150 million to comply with Premier League and UEFA rules. This situation gives Liverpool a strategic advantage. If Newcastle are unable to offload Isak to Saudi Arabia at a premium price, they may be forced to seriously consider Liverpool's offer, especially if Isak himself is eager to leave. Darwin Núñez poised for exit amid frustrations, while Liverpool pushed to bring Isak to Anfield. It's becoming increasingly evident that Darwin Núñez may be on his way out. The 25-year-old Uruguayan striker, who joined from Benfica in a record-breaking deal just 2 years ago, has struggled to live up to expectations and has now grown disillusioned with his role at the club. French. Journalist Francois Plateau recently reported that Núñez is growing frustrated with his limited game time and is determined to find a club where he can play regularly. Liverpool, meanwhile, are reportedly open to selling the forward for around £70 million, significantly less than they paid, but enough to help fund the pursuit of Isak. You're probably wondering why go after another keeper when we already have Andre Onana. It's a fair question, and we'll get to it. But first, let's talk about what sparked all this. Gianluigi Donnarumma's contract talks with PSG have completely broken down. We're talking about a Champions League winner here, one of the best goalkeepers in the world, and he can't agree on a new deal with his club. That says a lot about how serious things have gotten. Your take? Are you excited about the idea of United going after Donnarumma, or do you think we should focus on strengthening other areas first? Money talks, and it's talking loudly. Let's dive into the numbers, because this is where things start to heat up. Donnarumma currently earns €6.1 million a year as a base salary at PSG, plus another £2.6 million in bonuses. Sounds like a solid paycheck, right? But apparently, it's not enough for him. He's asking for a significant raise in so far. PSG haven't matched his expectations. Some might call that greedy. But if you compare his wages to what other top goalkeepers are pulling in across Europe, it's easy to see why he might feel underpaid. Things have deteriorated to the point where reports suggest Donnarumma won't be renewing at all. That's true? He could walk away for free next summer when his contract runs out. Would you offer him more? Or should he be content with what he's getting? PSG aren't waiting around, they're planning ahead. Here's the twist. One of the most reliable sources in French football is reporting that PSG are close to signing Lucas Chevalier from Lille. If you're asking who, he's a highly rated young goalkeeper seen as Donnarumma's long-term replacement. This move signals something big. PSG aren't just hoping Donnarumma changes his mind. They're actively preparing for life without him, and that's changed. The entire dynamic Donnarumma no longer has the upper hand. PSG have shown they're ready to move on. Smart planning or a mistake to let a world-class keeper go? What do you think? It's not just United City you're watching to hear something. That might surprise you. Manchester United aren't the only ones circling. Manchester City have also been monitoring Donnarumma since June. That's significant. First, proves this isn't a last-minute panic move by United. We've been watching the situation unfold for months. Second, it means the